Maximus Decimus Meridius.
I am your father.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Yes. And you're not sure about this, are you?
You're gonna die, clown!
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? Sir? The most you ever lost on a coin toss. Call it.
Whose motorcycle is this?
It's a chopper, baby.
Whose chopper is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby.
Bring out today!
This is a tasty burger.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Hello. Welcome back to See What Sticks, a podcast about everything and nothing. I'm your host, Russell.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And Ben is back again and again and again because Emma is busy and rebuilding a house. So she is busy at nights when we record. Spoiler alert, we record kind of randomly. There's not really a schedule for this show. That's part of the beauty of doing this is because we just do kind of whatever we want, whenever we want. And that's the motto here is, that. Ben, what news do you have this week for our audience? What's a fun thing that you were up to?
This past weekend, I went to Chicago and saw Pearl Jam, who is my favorite band, for the first time in my life at Wrigley Field. So it's kind of like favorite band at favorite baseball team's home ball field. Couldn't really ask for a better experience. The weather was beautiful. The show was great, high energy, good set list. Yeah, it was just it was a good time.
That's awesome. I'm actually going to go to setlist.fm. If you've ever been on this site, also for those of you at home, there's a website called setlist.fm, and you can type in any band. So I'm going to type in Pearl Jam, P-E-R-L, Pearl Jam, and you can see every concert they've ever played, and you can see what their set list was, how often they played the song, and so I have the set list for Pearl Jam set at Wrigley Field on August 18th, 2018 up on my phone right now. So Ben, I'm going to quiz you. What did they open with?
Oh man, what did they open with? Shit, I don't remember.
They opened with Wash.
Okay, that's right. It went Wash, and then was it? I think Elderly Woman was either 2 or 3.
That was 3. Dude,
3?
They played
okay.
like literally 32 songs. Jesus H. Christ. That's amazing. You're getting some bang for your buck there.
Right? Yeah, it was a good set list. And then they had like 2 encores, a few different covers. They did a cover of Tom Petty's Won't Back Down as kind of a tribute to him. Eddie Vedder did that like acoustically.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then they did a cover of Rebel Rebel by David Bowie, and then they ended it was one of the last songs was Keep On Rockin' in the Free World by Neil Young.
Yeah.
That's a staple that they usually do play at a lot of their live shows.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They had 2 encores. Wow. Damn. What time did the show go until?
It was probably, I don't think we got out of there until like 11.
Oh, wow, okay. And it started at like 7, right?
It was scheduled to start at 7:30, but I don't think they actually took the stage until about 8.
Was it packed at Wrigley? Like, was it?
Oh, yeah. Sold out.
Yeah, I, not this last time, but I've seen the Foo Fighters at Wrigley, and it's just like a sea of people on the field. And it's just ridiculous. But I'm glad you had a great time. And that will lead into our topic for today, which is music and more so live performances. But we're also going to talk about some albums that we personally like and that we consider really good albums. And if you don't like them, that's awesome. Music is subjective, and you're allowed to like what you're allowed to like, and you're allowed to hate what you're allowed to hate. So, let's get into it, Ben. And then I have some fun stuff planned for the end that's a surprise for Ben. Ben, what do you want to start with? Do you want to start off with horrible live performances that you may have seen or know about?
That one's a tough one for me because I have not personally seen very many bad live performances, at least ones that I can recollect. And I would think I would think if it's kind of a bad performance, they probably wouldn't put it on a live album or do a video shot of it. So I might have to defer that one to you if you've seen any bad live performances. Yeah, definitely.
So for those of you who don't know, for those of you first who don't know, I'm a big music guy. I love music. I've probably listened to more music than I watch movies, even though I'm a film person as trade or whatever. So I've been to Lollapalooza, which is a music festival in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I've been there 8 or 9 times in a row. I did not go this year, and there's reasons why, and we're going to get into it. Partially because I had knee surgery, and I can't really walk around very much. And Lollapalooza, it's a music festival of actually 1 million people who go. It's really hard to walk around, and even if I was on crutches, it would have just been a nightmare. And I like being close to the bands. It's something I really take pride in when I go to shows, is really trying to get close. Because, that's why you're paying $300 to go to a show, is to see the band up close. Unless it's a seated venue, and then get seats wherever, because Wrigley Field, every seat is a good seat in that venue because they have the stage in the outfield, and every seat is literally a perfect seat. But in music festival, you're on the ground, and if you're far back, you're not seeing anything. So, bad shows, this isn't made for this. I'm not saying this to talk smack about any of these artists, or if you're a fan, it's not meant that way. It's meant from when I've seen them, they were really bad live. And that doesn't mean I don't like them as musicians. I went to see them live because clearly I like them, or at the time I liked them. So, the first one that I can really think of that I have in my notes as the worst live show that I have ever seen was by the rapper Logic. And I don't really like Logic that much anymore, but when I saw him, it was so lip-synced that it wasn't even funny. It wasn't good. It wasn't even faking it lip syncing. It was one of those, he lets the music play in the background and he's just trying to hype up the crowd as a hype man, which, I guess that's something, but come on. The ones that I'm going to say that are in that category, it's Logic, the Migos, Lil Uzi Vert, and Tyler the Creator were all like that. They're just kind of there. Essentially, they're playing it off of a laptop at a giant venue, and it really was disappointing, especially when you're paying a lot to go to Lollapalooza, which is where I've seen most of these bands. And then other bad performances that were just underwhelming for me were Chance the Rapper, who's from Chicago, so it was kind of a cool show to see him in Chicago, but he did not do a good live show. It was just, And then Kid Cudi, who I really, really do like. His show was just really just strange and wasn't good. I've seen him twice at an indoor venue and outdoor. Indoor venue, if you have the chance to see him or are a fan, go see him indoors. Don't see him at a festival. It's just not as good of an experience for him, at least. So I'm going to just get there.
It sounds like you have just very bad luck with hip-hop artists.
Yeah.
Live performances.
Not all hip-hop artists. There's a few on my good performances. So for those of you who may not know about music festivals, Lollapalooza before was 3 days. Now it's 4 days for the past 2 or 3 years. And that means there's a few hundred bands who go. And on average, if you're going, you probably see maybe 20 bands each time, and times 8. So I've seen quite a few bands there. I've just put maybe 10 or 15 on this list that stand out throughout the years as the best live shows, or the ones that had the most impact on me personally. And that doesn't mean all the other bands who go, or artists and musicians, aren't fantastic. These are just the ones that were wow, that's really good. So yeah, and hip-hop artists, a lot of times, it's hard because there are a lot of auto-tune, and it's hard to do that live. And rock is a lot easier to do live, because even in recording sessions, rock is more acoustic, which translates better to in-person music. So, yes. So let's get into it, Ben. What is one of your favorite good live performances, whether you've seen it in person or not? Because there's a few I've never seen before, but I have on this list.
I would say, even being the huge Pearl Jam fan that I am, the best live show that I've ever been to was by a kind of an Irish punk band named Flogging Molly.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They played a portion at Vans Warped Tour 2010. That was the only Warped Tour I had ever been to, but I went and saw Flogging Molly there, and they were just it was just the most just energetic and most fun that I've ever had at a concert before. Everybody was just, dancing, having a good time. And they put on a hell of a show. Like, they keep the crowd going, even if the song isn't like an upbeat, like fast tempo type of like jig that they usually get with. But just, oh my gosh, yeah, these guys know how to put on a show. And I would highly suggest, if you ever get a chance to go see Flogging Molly live, take it. You won't regret it.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people. One of my cousins is a huge Flogging Molly fan. He got me into that kind of music and into rock music in general. And he's one of those guys, I'm sure, who's probably seen them 6 times. Like, one of those guys who's just like, he doesn't have any tattoos, but I feel like if he did, that would be one of them. And yeah, their music is really cool. I have them on like a gym playlist for a few songs because it's really like upbeat, really fast, kind of aggressive-ish rock music, which is good for like a concert or in a gym. So I would 100% agree with that pick, even though I've never seen them live, but I have watched live versions of their shows on YouTube. So my first one on mine, I'm starting off with a big one, is Eminem. I've seen Eminem live twice, both times at Lollapaloozas. I'm a big Eminem fan. Maybe it's because I'm a white kid from the suburbs from the 90s, and that's criteria for being an Eminem fan. But him, or I don't know, grammar's not good with me today. Eminem live is incredible. He does not lip sync, and whenever he needs to take a breath during a song, he has another guy on stage with him who says the words when he's taking the breath. So it's different. So like, he'll be doing a really fast part of a song, and like if he has to take a breath during, let's say, Lose Yourself, and it's Mom Spaghetti, he'll take the breath, and the other guy will say the words Mom Spaghetti, and then Eminem picks up there, just so you're not getting like the recording in the background coming through. And Eminem has like a guy with the guitar and drums, as well as like a DJ doing mixing on stage. And it's really cool. It's a very, very, very like personal live show, and every time he does live stuff, he plays different songs just because his discography is like a million different songs, and nearly all of them are critical successes, or at least audience successes, just with his fans. So he's really cool live. I would recommend it. I mean, if you're not an Eminem fan, of course, don't go see Eminem. But yeah. And we can also have this go into music festival stories or concert stories, because I have some doozies. But yeah, what's next, Ben?
For me, the band that I've seen the most, and it's always interestingly been because I've gone to see someone else that's playing with them.
Oh, okay.
And this is Linkin Park. I've seen them 3 times. Yes, 3 times. Twice at their they had a music festival called Project Revolution, and then once they were just touring with a couple bands. They were never my favorite band. I respected what they did, and it was all well and good. I didn't hate them by any means, but they were, I guess I should say, rest in peace, Chester Bennington. They were incredible live. They put on such good shows, and they kept the audience going. It was very high energy. Mm-hmm. And you would think like there were certain albums where frontman Chester Bennington, he would really just belt out some screaming vocals. Mm-hmm. You would think like he might take it easy live for some of those songs. Yeah. He put everything into singing those songs. And these guys were true performers, and they put on incredible shows. Yeah. Like I said, every time I went, it was just to go see a band that was touring with them. Yeah. But I absolutely was astonished at how good they played live.
Yeah. When I heard that he, unfortunately, for those of you who don't know about Linkin Park, the lead singer last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, killed himself. He was like struggling with addiction and a lot of other things in his life, and he had like 3 kids, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, it's really sad. Are they still doing touring? Like how Queen still did stuff after Freddie Mercury's passing?
I don't know, honestly, because I really haven't kept up with any news with the band.
But yeah, so I would have loved to see Linkin Park. That was a band that I was really into a few years ago, and that was one that I kind of always wanted to see, but never had the opportunity. But that would have been super cool. Good pick. Who are they touring with that you kept seeing them as like opening acts?
Let's see. It was the first time I went. They had they actually toured with Chris Cornell.
Oh,
interestingly enough, who ended up committing suicide like a year after Chester Bennington, I think. But yeah, he was touring solo with them. He played most of his, or he played a lot of the Soundgarden hits.
Oh, cool.
Without the rest of the band.
Yeah.
But also Taking Back Sunday was with them. Coheed and Cambria was one of the bigger acts that I went to see for them. What else? My Chemical Romance, Seosin, a lot of
a lot of early 2000s, 90s punk bands.
Yes, yeah, punk and emo stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
For sure.
I did not know you were into that. That's cool.
I was not so much anymore.
Yeah,
I think I've kind of. It's not to put that genre down, but I feel like I've grown up and began to appreciate a lot more genres of music, and I think my tastes have become a lot more eclectic.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, especially guys, really get into that kind of music when they're younger. I knew I was when I was like in high school. I was really big into that, like really big time. And then, yeah, it just kind of changed. And there's a few bands on my list that have that kind of vibe. But yeah, that's really cool. Soundgarden was at Lollapalooza one year. I didn't go see them, which was obnoxious. And I'll do a few honorable mentions that I don't have on this list, but I really, really did enjoy. I saw Nine Inch Nails live. Super, super cool show live. I've seen Metallica live. Super cool show. Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne's Weird. It was an okay show, kind of like underwhelming. Yeah, so those are some that are like honorable mention kind of things for this. But I think actually the worst show I've ever seen, Emma was with me. And I say the worst show I've ever seen, not seen, Liam Cunningham from Oasis, like Wonderwall. Mm-hmm. He walked off stage at Lollapalooza 2 or 3 years ago because his throat hurt, and he only did 2 songs. So that was super, super shitty.
Yeah, I've heard Oasis is just a pain in the ass to deal with in general. Like they always have been, even in the kind of the height of their popularity. Yeah, the Gallagher brothers were always just at each other's throats and always just pissy little assholes. So, I don't think I would have ever enjoyed a show like that.
I didn't know that until that happened, and there's people in the crowd who knew, and they're like, "Yep, we saw this coming." I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that was a thing." I was just like hyped to hear Wonderwall. That's like why I was there. I don't like give a shit about his other music. I just wanted to hear Wonderwall live, which still hasn't happened. But yeah, also a show that was a good show but wasn't a good experience for me was I saw part of Weezer live, but then it got rained out. But it was like a free show in Grant Park that I just never. I saw like 1.5 songs, so I still say I haven't seen Weezer live because there was like a huge rainstorm. But to go on to, I think, the best live shows I've ever seen, I have like a few that are like really, really good. I have one that I hold at the highest. I think some of the best ones, I saw the Foo Fighters live. Fantastic. Daft Punk live. They were incredible. I saw them in like 2008. So that was a long time ago I saw them. The Shins live are incredible. Jack White, he does all of his stuff from the Raconteurs, Dead Weather, Jack White stuff, and the White Stripes. So he's like, his shows are a little bit of everything. So if you like anything Jack White has done, odds are you're going to hear it if you see him live. And then Run the Jewels. If you guys don't know who Run the Jewels are, it is a hip-hop duo consisting of Killer Mike from Atlanta and then ELP, who is traditionally a music producer, kind of like how Dr. Dre was, or still is, and they do like a rap duo together. They're pretty good. They're in a lot of pop culture movies. They have like this whole partnership thing they've done with Rick and Morty, so they've been kind of getting more and more popular. Their symbol is like a finger gun and a fist, which is running the jewels, which is a robbery. That's what it is. It's a holdup. That's what Run the Jewels means. It's like steal money. So it's a pretty aggressive band, but they're really, 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 really cool live. Really cool live show, and they actually sing live. And some would say, a lot of people have complained about their shows being really shitty because you can't hear them because they're jumping around on stage. So, Ben, if you like look them up or anyone looks them up on a live show, you can't hear what they're saying because they're doing it live. But I like that because you go to see someone live to see them actually performing their craft, not just hitting play. So I put them on like good performances. And then my best ones are Outkast, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Paul McCartney, and the Killers are my favorite shows I've ever seen live. And most people would probably on that list say Paul McCartney would be at the top. I don't think so. His show was kind of disorganized because he did some Wing stuff. He did some of his own stuff. He did some Beatles stuff. And he like closed with like Hey Jude, but then came back on stage and did Born in the USSR, and then did other stuff, and did Eleanor Rigby way too early. And it was just kind of disjointed the way he performed, so it wasn't like building towards the big Beatles songs. So it was just kind of weird, but it was cool to see Sir Paul McCartney. But
yeah, it seems like an odd choice to put on Hey Jude and then play anything after that.
Yeah, it was super weird because when he did Hey Jude, we're all like, oh, this is awesome. Like, yeah, my middle name is Jude. So, like, oh, that's cool. But, yeah, and then he did stuff after because, like, Lollapalooza ends at a certain time, and the big artists will go later, and we're like, there has to be stuff after this. Like, there just has to be. Like, he's not going to end early. And there was, and we're like, what? It was just so anticlimactic, where, like, there was fireworks that went off for Hey Jude, there was, like, sparklers on stage, there was, like, fire shooting out of the stage, and then there was stuff afterwards, and it was kind of like, okay, well, this is kind of weird, because when you see it, that's what you're looking for, is that, or, like, Here Comes the Sun, or, is that the name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, Eleanor Rigby. He did really early. It was, like, the fourth song he played was Eleanor Rigby. I mean, in theory, I could look it up. But, yeah, it was just a very weird set list. But it was cool. That's the same as Outkast. They played Hey Ya in the middle of their set, which everyone thought they were going to close with Hey Ya. But they opened. If you're not an Outkast fan, are you an Outkast fan?
I like some of their... Basically, I haven't really dove too deep into their discography, but I like all the radio hits that they put out.
Yeah, so... I hope I don't get sued for this, guys. But I'm going to play some music on here, and I'm going to do this. This is what they opened with, and everyone was like, what? So there's a song called B.O.B. by Outkast.
They opened with B.O.B.?
Yeah, it's Bombs Over Baghdad.
What?
That is what they opened with. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to play it. So it's very, like, hype. So that is what they opened with, a really intense hype song, which you would think they would close with, or like near the end of their show to kind of keep people going. They played a lot of stuff off like some of like Aquemini, and like Southern play the super long album from 1994. They played a lot of stuff like that, some really deep cuts, and it was fine. And they played like all like their super popular stuff, like I Like the Way You Move, or whatever the name of that, The Way You Move. They played those, and it was cool. And they have a live band on stage, so they have trumpet players, they have everyone on stage, which is a cool thing. Great show to see live because they don't tour. It's kind of one of their last shows they did with just together. But yeah, it was just weird. And then my favorite two shows of all time are The Killers and Red Hot Chili Peppers, because they're my favorite two bands of all time. And Anthony Kiedis is the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers and is a complete nut on stage, and so is Flea. And they just perform their asses off. But yeah, Ben, what are some of your like other favorites or like great moments from concerts that you've seen?
Well, my very first concert I ever went to was Styx.
What? That's awesome.
And they were surprisingly really, really freaking good at their age. They didn't have their original keyboardist and like vocalist for like Come Sail Away. Mm-hmm. His name is escaping me. Dennis DeYoung.
Yeah.
But they had a dude that sounded exactly like him and was a monster on the keyboard. Like, he was playing on a spinning platform, like, backwards and everything, and the dude was awesome. But, yeah, they were really, really good. That was, weirdly enough, that was my first concert I ever went to.
That's starting at a very high note.
Right. Yeah, that was a good one. There was a band that didn't last very long as far as popularity, but they were called the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Oh, yeah, I know who they are.
They had a big hit out that was called Face Down. That was kind of like their one kind of big radio hit, but they put on a really good show. They were another band that they didn't like tone it down for a live performance. Like, their vocalist, he just let loose and did all his screaming and all the, like, you know, high notes and everything. They were very good live. Who else have I seen that was good? That's it. That's all I can think of right now.
Oh, that's actually really cool. Those are like really good shows. A lot of rock stuff. Have you ever been to like a hip hop show?
I have not. I have yet to be to one of I have yet to have been to one of those. Well, grammar is escaping me as well.
No, it's okay. It's kind of late as well, and it's a Wednesday. This is a weird day. And Ben, actually, I'm going to get into this. Ben, how's school? School
It's
started.
going well so far. Actually, the class I was supposed to go to yesterday, covering the Italian Renaissance, the very first class was canceled, and no one was informed. So I drove 40 minutes to Lafayette to class just to find a note on the door that says, no class today. So my first class for that one is going to be tomorrow. But then we got an email. So apparently the professor got like hot oil in her eye.
What?
So I guess that's like an okay excuse to cancel class. Like, I understand that.
Huh.
But other than that, classes are going well enough, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. What else are you taking? You know what? I don't care if this is bad podcasting or bad radio. I want to know what Ben's up to, and now so do you guys. Okay.
It's your show. You do whatever the hell you want.
Exactly.
I'm also taking, I don't really know the number for it, but it's basically U.S. history up to like post Civil War. And then German 201, American women in history up through post Civil War. So I think there's going to be a lot of overlap between those two. And then the Italian Renaissance class. So 12 credit hours, keeping it the bare minimum of full-time student.
Oh, nice. Is that what the full-time student is, 12?
Yes.
Oh, really? I think I always took 15.
That's what I usually like to take.
Oh, okay.
I had to drop a class due to some family scheduling conflicts here at home.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. What, you know what? I don't care. People who go to Purdue, I know, listen to this. How's the new film professor? Have you met him?
I actually don't have any film classes for this semester, so I don't know yet.
Oh, interesting. You know, this is a weird fun fact. You know Troy?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a guy I worked with in LA who's a friend of mine. Since we've worked together, he did the Comic-Con episode with me and one or two others. And his name is Curtis. He's a stand-up comedian. He did like the Iraq tour to entertain the troops and stuff. So he's a really funny guy. Him and Troy are friends. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I was on Curtis's Facebook because I was looking for just like a very specific thing, and it said like mutual like friend Troy McKay. I'm like, what? How the hell do they know each other? So,
well, I guess it kind of makes sense if Curtis. I mean, I assume he do a lot out in LA, like show business kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's an actor and comedian in Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess it would make sense since Troy's been like he's worked everywhere in that town.
Yeah, he was like have you seen his reel? He's like, you know, the Mac PC commercials. Mm-hmm. He's one of the PCs.
Yeah.
Just because
he was also on the episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm as well.
Yeah, he was. He was also gonna be Stanley in The Office.
Right. Yeah. And then like another guy, he told us that story a couple times in class. Like the guy that actually ended up getting it, like it's always like not really a competition, but like the part that he goes for is always like up for grabs from that guy as well.
Yeah, like were they always competing for the same job? I think that's really funny because him, spoiler, Troy is not a heavy-set black guy, but Troy is a very, like, he's a very, very, very nice guy, but you couldn't pick him out of the lineup. He's very much that guy, and so is the guy who plays Stanley. He's very much you could see that guy in the street and just completely just keep walking and not acknowledge it at all. And I can understand why those two would always go up for the same parts, because they kind of hit that same demographic. But I think that's so funny that he was almost that guy in The Office. He's in a bunch of FedEx commercials. It's just super funny to see Troy in like all these goofy roles. But yeah, that's one of the fun things about going to film school, guys. If you're not in college and you want to pick a thing, maybe film. It's fun. You get to watch a lot of movies for class and write papers on movies instead of doing science problems. So there's a pro. But yeah, but other than that, how is it this year? Anything different? I know they're building new dorms.
Yeah, they're pretty close to being done with a new student living facility that's supposed to be like ritzy as hell. Like
Damn.
Super duper amenities. It's supposed to be pretty expensive to live in as well.
Yeah, I can
like 12 to 1,500 like a year.
Yeah,
or rather a month, like for one person.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
Did you ever live in? I know not Purdue, but you went to another school in Indiana before you went to Purdue. You went to. Did you go to Ball State?
Yes, that's the one.
The school of David Letterman.
Yep. Is the telecommunications department? They have a building named after him.
Oh, really?
Yep. Because he's basically like the name of Ball State's like telecommunications department.
Also, Doug Jones went there. Not the guy from Alabama, the kid diddler. The guy who played the fish in The Shape of Water. He also went to Ball State, which is just like a weird fun fact. Yeah. And he was. Did he do something like with Indiana? There was some sort of parade, and he was at the head of the parade because he's like a famous Indiana guy. But yeah, no, it's like just a weird little fun fact about Ball State. Did you live in a dorm there?
Yes, for 2 years.
Oh, okay. I lived in a dorm at the first college I went to, which wasn't Purdue, guys. I don't think I ever really talked about that other school because I had horrible experiences there. It wasn't good. It was a small school, and I hate people knowing about my business. But yeah, how did you like dorm life?
It was okay. I mean, I had a good group of people like that I lived around, and my freshman year roommate was never there because he was studying architecture. So like those people basically lived in their schoolhouse.
Yeah.
24/7. So I basically had a room to myself. But my sophomore year, I roomed with a guy that I ended up living with like in a house off campus the next couple years. Mm-hmm. And he's a cool dude. So I enjoyed living with him. Yeah, I didn't really mind living in the dorms. In my sophomore year, it was brand new dormitories.
Oh, so that's cool.
It was a nice facility, nice rooms and everything.
That's super nice. I remember when I first went to college at not Purdue, my dorm I lived in was built during the Civil War. I'm not kidding. It used to be a barracks for the Civil War. There's actually a movie that was filmed at this particular college with what's his face? Rob Lowe is in the movie. I'll have to remember the name. I'll look it up at some point and talk about it randomly. But there's a scene on YouTube called, it's like with Rob Lowe and one other guy, and the name of the scene is like Your Mom Is Calling, and it's kind of a drama, like coming of age sort of movie. And this place in Lake Forest, I almost just said the name of the place. This place in Illinois is a lot of movies are filmed there. Mr. T used to live there. Michael Jordan lives there. Oprah used to live there. So it's a really, really ritzy area. It's kind of like Beverly Hills for the Midwest. And there's a scene there, and there's this fight between the two characters in the movie, and they're in this like valley, in this like kind of like quarry, and the school is built on top of a bunch of like quarries, so it's like a bunch of cliffs right by the lake. And in the scene, the two characters are fighting because one of the person's moms is calling. I've never seen the movie, but they run into the dorm I used to live in, and the fight scene where they're like knocking over bookshelves is in the dorm I used to live in. It's in the room because I used to live across from the men's bathroom, and that's part of the scene. I'm like, oh my god, that's the room I used to live in. But that's just like one little fun fact. But yeah, I didn't like dorm life. I'm an only child, for those of you who don't know. And that's not just, I'm not being like, I just don't like sharing. I thought it was cool to live with people, and I lived in apartments when I went to Purdue, and I always had roommates. But I just have not always had the best luck with roommates. I've had some really amazing roommates and amazing people I've met. And I think I've probably had, I listed it with Emma, because I've always lived with more than one person. And I always change roommates every year. So I think throughout college, I've had like 14 different roommates. And I think out of the 14, like 6 or 7 of them have been cool, and the rest have been not cool. And I'm not saying who and who isn't, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, because I know at least 1 or 2 of them listens. And if you're one of the people who listens,
so
you're one of the cool ones.
People are listening. Get your shit together.
And I know 1 or 2 of the people who do listen, or both of the people who listen, are the cool roommates. So if you lived with me in college and you listen, don't worry, you're on the nice list. You are not on the naughty list. Don't worry. But yeah, I just had some horror story roommate experiences, just like walking in on roommates whilst having sex and stuff like that. Like all the cliche college things that you hear, those have happened to me. So yeah, that's just weird college tangent thing. But yeah, I don't know what the hell we were talking. Oh, we were talking about music. You want to talk about some albums?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Okay. What is your... I was about to say, what's your least favorite album of all time? But I don't think I have a least favorite album.
That could be like categorized into like a billion other albums that I just probably don't like or have never listened to.
Exactly. I think... Okay, I have a question. I don't have this on the list. What do you think is the most hyped album that isn't good?
I don't know.
I have one, and this is going to ruffle feathers for those of you out there. I think the album Life of Pablo by Kanye West is dog shit. I hate that album. And everyone's like, dude, the album is like a musical masterpiece, and if you don't get it, you're just like you're not there. You don't understand. No, the thing is, I listen to a lot of hip-hop. I listen to a lot of hip-hop. This is not a good album. And it's not because I hate everything Kanye's done. I like his old stuff. He's just gone off the wall. But yeah, that's my answer. Also, most anything Adele has done, I just don't... She's a fantastic musician, but come on, get with it. That's my thing.
Adele seems like it's a very, very niche market of people. Like, I agree, she has an incredible voice, and I do like a couple of her singles. But yeah, to like listen to a whole album, I just don't get into it.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question for you, Ben. What's your favorite side? If you're going to go to a fast food place, what's your favorite thing to order as a side? Are you a French fry guy? Because I don't like French fries.
It depends on where.
Okay.
Obviously, like some places fries are better than others. But, so are we just sticking to fast food in general, or expanding into any sort of style of restaurant?
I'm going to say let's do fast food, and by fast food I mean it has to have a drive-thru. Doesn't, like, technically Starbucks has a drive-thru, so that counts. But like Outback Steakhouse does not have a drive-thru, so that does not count. Even though it's like casual dining, so this is one step below that. So Steak and Shake does count, even though you get a menu and a waiter or waitress. It does count as fast food because there's a drive-thru.
Right. Okay. I guess in that case, my favorite side would probably... I usually get onion rings from Burger King.
Are they good? I've never gotten a Burger King onion ring.
It depends, I guess, where you go, which Burger King you go to. Some of them I've had are complete garbage. Others are perfectly fried and just tasty. Yeah, I've grown stale of like just getting normal fries.
I'm a mashed potato guy.
Where do you get mashed potatoes at a fast food?
Do you know what Culver's is?
Yeah.
Dude, Culver's has mashed potatoes, and they're fire. And I'm the weird guy who's like, oh, can I have a butter burger with mashed potatoes? And they're like, okay, Grandpa.
Yeah, see, mashed potatoes is like my go-to for like sit-down restaurants and casual dining.
Oh, yeah. I love mashed potatoes. I'm not a big French fry person. And like, you know what? I like curly fries, and I like those waffle cut fries. Waffle cut fries are fire. And so are curly fries. But I'm not a big French fry. Like, even like Portillo's, which is a Chicago thing for those who don't know. They have like steak fries or those like crinkle cut ones. Not a fan. Not big into it. But yeah. I just wanted to know because that's a really defining characteristic of people. Because if you go to a place and you just order like, may I have a hamburger? Also, if you order a hamburger, you're probably a psychopath. Like, who orders just a hamburger?
Get cheese on that.
Yeah, if you're
Weirdo.
lactose intolerant, I get it, but come on, suck it up. Get a cheeseburger, otherwise people are gonna think you're crazy. Let's just be real.
I've started actually eating cheeseburgers without the bread,
Same.
just to try and like cut out those carbs.
Yeah.
And I've grown more appreciative of the meat and cheese on the inside.
Honestly, I've done that too. The best burger I have found, this is gonna ruffle feathers, everyone. Burger King. Burger King is now my favorite burger. If you remove the bun, I mean, also McDonald's. McDonald's is just like a benchmark. If it's worse than McDonald's, why are you there? But also, like, no one has ever gone, at least in my opinion, I've never gone to McDonald's and been like, that was the best thing I could have gotten for this price. It's probably not. Go to like Wendy's or Burger King. Also, square burgers, not about it. That's not a natural shape in nature. Nothing's a square. So don't feed me a square burger. Actually, I had White Castle recently because of your recommendation. White Castles are pretty fire.
Yeah, I was about to say, get the hell out of here with your anti-square burger bullshit.
But no, White Castles are pretty heat. But also, I had to sit on the toilet for the rest of the night. So, I mean, whatever.
It's the price you pay. It's the price you pay.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's like anything. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Yeah. Next time you go to White Castle, get it with jalapeno cheese.
Oh,
It'll
snap.
change your life.
You know what?
Your life.
That's like my new thing. So for those of you who don't know, we're just going to talk about this and then we're going to get back to movies. But for those of you who don't know, I just had pretty severe knee surgery and I've had to go get like a personal trainer besides physical therapy to reteach me how to like go to the gym and weightlift around my knee. Because I used to weightlift a lot. I used to work at a gym as a trainer, but now I can't because standing hurts. But my trainer's like, you need to start logging all your food. And I have been logging my food, but then he's like, you're allowed to have cheat days. And boy, let me tell you, when I have a cheat day, I cheat big time. Because the rest of the week, I actually am quite healthy about food. I'm pretty like cognizant of what I'm eating. But when it's a cheat day like this last weekend, dude, I went to the Rainforest Cafe downtown because we were down there, and I just got I got this like coconut curry shrimp thing. It was actually, I looked it up online, it was like 3,000 calories. I don't care. Oh yeah, and my buddy went to the Cheesecake Factory. He got like a burger that was literally 3,600 calories. I don't know how a burger can be 3,600 calories unless it's coated in Crisco. Like, there's no way I can fathom that much calories or that many calories. Jesus Christ, in a burger. I'm slowly losing my ability to speak. I'm sorry, everybody. Once I start, like, just mushing all my words together, you're allowed to stop listening. So, albums. Sorry, that was a weird segue to that. Also, I think what we should start doing on the show, Ben, is having fake sponsors.
We can do that. Take a little break, go over some fake sponsors, even real companies that don't sponsor this at all, but you know what? They're going to get free airtime. Yeah,
you know what? Free sponsors. If you want to sponsor the show, literally anybody, unless you're the Nazi Party, I'm cool with almost anything except the Nazi Party. I will not rep you guys on this show. I'm sorry, not a fan. I don't like Nazis. Also, I'm European, so I don't like Nazis. You guys weren't cool to us. Also, what is up with Nazis having American and Nazi flags? We fought a war over this. Not to get political, but that's just my one statement, because I saw a picture of that this week, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. There was like
It's about as stupid as flying a Confederate flag next to an American flag out of your pickup truck.
Okay.
The irony is just so sweet and misunderstood from these fucking people that, you know what?
We
could get into it hard, but I know. We'll stay with
I'm like, that's a country that no longer exists because America beat that country. You know, it doesn't matter, guys. I'm sorry. I had to say it because it's just been on my mind. And nothing against anyone's political things, but that's a defeated country. Jefferson Davis lost, guys. For those of you who don't know, Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy. But, okay, that's my weird Tourette's tangent on that because I'm literally looking at notes on my phone, and for some reason my brain is just racing to everywhere. But yeah, so fake sponsors. The sponsor for today is MeUndies. I actually own a pair of MeUndies. That's why I'm talking about this, and I'm wearing my MeUndies right as we speak. They are actually not a sponsor of this show, but I will say MeUndies are very comfortable.
I've heard of MeUndies, and I've also heard of Tommy John underwear. So I'm kind of like torn on which exclusive underwear, and kind of they're probably pricey as hell compared to a normal pair of Fruit of the Loom. But hopefully they'd be comfortable and no wedgies and no riding. So I'm curious as to how these bad boys are feeling.
You know what? You know what's cool about them that no one talks about? I'm going to be honest. MeUndies are really solid because the way they're stitched together is different than normal underwear. They're stitched together like workout underwear. If you've ever played if you've ever gone to the gym and have workout underwear, or like football underwear. Like I used to play Ultimate Frisbee. And then I used to sail, and you wear like compression underwear, and it's stitched together differently than boxers or briefs. MeUndies are stitched together like that, and it's very supportive on your boys. And I'm sure if you're a girl, they're supportive. But on your boys, if you're a guy, get some MeUndies, guys. I'm serious. Like they're so comfy. I'm wearing them right now. I'm so supported. I've never felt this supported. I could jump up and down, nothing's moving. But yeah. That's free airtime for you guys. Please support us. Please send me free underwear. Give me money. That's the biggest thing. Give me money. Give Emma money. Give Ben money. Come on. That's what we're here for. We're not here to enjoy this. We're not here because we're fans. Just give us money.
We got bills. We got bills to pay.
Yeah, that's the real sponsor of this is money. Please sponsor us, money. But yeah, okay. On with that. Ben, what's your favorite album of all time?
Favorite album of all time? I don't know if I have a favorite album. However, I still have the very first CD that I ever was gifted, like for my birthday.
Ooh, what is that?
That is Green Day's second major release, titled Insomniac.
Oh, cool.
And I think that probably is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Ooh. You know what? I think I talked about on the show about first albums. My first album that I ever bought, what do you think it is? I know there's anything. It's a rock album. I thought it was something else because I said it on the show, but I recently was going through my room, just going through stuff, and I found it. It's a rock album. It's an oldies. It's a newer rock album from an oldies band.
What year?
Ooh, let me look. I will look this up. God damn it. iPhones. Let's look. Okay, let's see what year this album came out. Jesus Christ. This album... Oh god, no, it's not new. This album came out the 25th of July, 1980.
Whew. So, let's see.
It's an oldies band. The lead singer or the lead guitarist and stuff wears shorts on stage, traditionally.
Okay, so AC/DC?
Yeah. It's Back in Black.
1980? Back in Black?
Yeah, that's the first album I ever bought. I started on a high note. It's all been downhill from the time I was 7.
That is an album that, I think every single track has been played on the radio.
I think so, too.
Not very common.
Yeah, I bought that, and then the album that Immigrant Song is on by Led Zeppelin, I also bought that album, because I used to be really big into oldies rock. I still am, but not as much. Do you have a vinyl? Do you have a record player, like a turntable?
I don't. I've been thinking about actually kind of investing in that, and just to see if it's going to change the way I listen to music.
I have one, and it makes me a hipster douche, but I really like it. I'm going to be serious about it. I have quite a few albums for it. I've been buying greatest hits albums, and now I understand why those exist. Because you don't have to buy an album of stuff you don't like, because usually on the greatest hits album, it's the songs you know and really like, and it's fantastic. For those of you, I'm going to just hype vinyl. Vinyl, sponsor us. But yeah. So, what... if you had to listen to one album for a year, and that's the only album you can listen to, what would it be?
I think that would be Motion City Soundtrack's "Commit This to Memory."
Oh, cool. Okay.
Kind of it was one of those pop punky like big album hits from I want to say 2005, 2006 ish time frame. But there was a unless you're kind of into that, unless you were into that kind of pop punk scene, you might not know who Motion City Soundtrack is. But that's an album that just front to back is amazing.
Nice.
And even I'm not even into that kind of style of music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if a song from that album comes across like on shuffle on Spotify, it's gonna be listened to. I'm not gonna skip over it.
Nice. You know what? I like that album. I know what you're talking about. I like it. I think mine is it's a deep cut for all of you. And if anyone knows who this is just by knowing, I am proud. It's the album The Score by the Fugees, which it's a hip hop trio. This album came out in like 1993. It is my favorite album of all time. I also have it on vinyl in my house. And that album, you can put it on at a party. You can put it on just hanging out. You can put it on doing anything you want to. And it always sets a super cool, chill vibe. I also have Bob Marley's Greatest Hits. And I mean, that's pretty great. But it's a greatest hit, so it's not one album. But the Fugees, The Score, is amazing. Also, Enter the Wu-Tang by Wu-Tang Clan is also one of my favorite albums. But that album is another one of those that I think every single song on that album was played on the radio or has like notoriety. Like every single song on there is a hit. So those are two.
Fugees was a good choice. I think a lot of people that aren't like late 80s / 90s kids would probably recognize the name the Fugees. Yeah. But like Lauryn Hill and Questlove came from the Fugees. Yeah. So that's probably the names that they would recognize.
Yeah. I know that kind of dates me a little bit on my musical knowledge and the music that I like. I'm a huge oldies hip hop person. If you don't know who Big Daddy Kane is, you can get the fuck out of here. Sorry. I had to put that in. Thank you for all of you who understand my Big Daddy Kane reference. And if you don't, like I said, you can turn this the fuck off. I'm just kidding. Please don't. But listen to Big Daddy Kane. It'll change the way you listen to modern hip hop. I'm serious. And you'll see a lot of... Yeah?
I was going to say, my go-to hip hop album for me is also old school. It's Snoop Doggy Dogg's intro, Doggy Style.
Hell yes. Okay, cool.
Love that album. And
yeah,
thinking about it from a modern point of view, there are some tracks on there that could be considered problematic in today's day and age. However, if you listen to it and recognize this is problematic, but I'm just going to enjoy this for the great hip hop album that it is. Yeah, that album's a masterpiece.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you could think about that with a lot of shows and movies. Like, one of the greatest movies of all time, Casablanca. There's, like, the line played again, Sam, who is the piano player, who's African-American. There's a line where someone calls him boy. And he's a grown man. And that dates that movie. And it's very problematic now. And if you don't know why, maybe you should take a history class. But, yeah. But 100% very good. Understandably problematic, but a lot of old hip-hop is. Most of Eminem is problematic now if you look at it in 2018. But you know what? I don't care. I still like it. And it's not like I'm going to go out there and repeat these lines to people, but you can understand it for what it is. And if someone gets offended about that, I don't give a shit. Sorry.
He already told you to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I did. So if you're not listening to Big Daddy Kane while you're listening to this, you have a problem. You know what you should do if you're driving? Get out your phone, start texting, look up Big Daddy Kane on Spotify while you're doing this, and there you go. But yeah, that's my Big Daddy Kane spiel. I think another favorite album of all time it's a newer album, way newer than the Fugees. It's Daft Punk's Random Access Memories. I think that album is incredible. Also, my favorite song on the album is not the Pharrell Williams song, even though that's the one that blew up the radio. It's Instant Crush. Julian Casablancas from The Strokes and from Julian Casablancas does the vocals for it. It's super auto-tuned, but it's auto-tuned in a really sad kind of way to make him sound really emotional, and the music video for it will make you cry. It is so heart-wrenching. It's incredible. But yeah, I love that album. But yeah. What else do you have?
What are some live performances that you wish you could have been at?
Okay.
Like you weren't born or too young, something like that.
I wish I was able to see MF Doom live. He's banned from the United States. I'm not even going to get into like that whole story, but MF Doom is a hip hop artist who some people say has the greatest album of all time, which is Mad Villainy. I wish I could have seen him live. He is one of the people. Him and Damian Marley and Nas had an album together called Distant Relatives. I wish I could have seen them on that tour because I heard that was super hype. Those are a few that I wish I would have been able to see. And I wish I could have seen Red Hot Chili Peppers at the height of their fame. I really do. Like, in like the when was their height of fame? Was that like the late 90s?
They kind of went through like two heights. Like Blood Sugar Sex Magic was like their first like monstrous album. And then like early and mid 2000s when Stadium Arcadium came out, they hit it huge again.
Yeah, that's 2006 or 2004. And that's kind of, I think that was right before I got into them because I remember I bought that album when it was new. Because how old was I then? How old was I in 2000? I was like 11 or 12. So, yeah. And that was like, I mean, usually kids get into music usually when they're like 5 or 6. So I've been into music for a while, but 2006, was the iPod out yet?
Yes.
Okay, so I probably had that.
It's still the large, bricky, like 512 megabyte version or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Good times. Those were simpler times. LimeWire. Do you remember LimeWire?
I was old enough. I'm old enough to have used Napster when it first came out.
Oh man, yeah. For those of you who don't know or haven't listened before, Ben, what year were you born?
87.
Okay, Ben is 7 or 8 years older than me. So, yeah, you were a Napster dude. Did you have a MySpace?
I did not. I think I had a MySpace that I created and then completely just did not use the minute I started it. So I guess I would say technically yes, but for useful purposes, no, I never used it.
Did you have AIM?
Yes, I did. AIM was big when I was freshman and sophomore in college.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You are older than me. AIM was big when I was in like 8th grade and in high school. So yeah, you are older than me. But AIM was huge my freshman year of high school. Like that was how you got in contact with people because that was kind of before smartphones became huge.
Yeah, and my wife just yelled at me from the room. She's like, AIM was big when we were in high school. And I'm thinking, well, I didn't get on the internet in high school because I was sheltered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I totally understand. Like AIM was the thing. Oh my God. You remember away messages where you're like,
yes.
You
wanted to type out the dumbest, most like teen angsty away message that made you look fucking cool or deep.
How many Red Hot Chili Pepper lyrics did I have on there? Or how many Foo Fighters lyrics were just like copy and pasted in? Do you remember recording ringtones off like the radio or off your like speakers? And it was just like the most staticky shit ever. It's just like, if it was Foo Fighters, like, learning again. It's just like that. So good. Simpler times. I hate Twitter. I'm going to be honest. I hate Twitter.
I follow a lot of like celebrities and all that, and I'm pretty much just a lurker, but I don't really tweet a lot.
Yeah. One thing, to answer your question about live shows, I wish I was at Live Aid and I wish I was at Woodstock. But you know what? I hate about Twitter, guys? I use this app called Tweetbot. I don't know if that's what you use. Basically, I use Twitter to hype this show. But there's a certain person on Twitter, I'm not going to get into it, who tweets a lot. And he gets a lot of retweets, and there's a lot of news about his tweets. Even though I don't follow him on Twitter, somehow it comes up. And like the stuff you may like. I don't think any people I follow a lot of comic book pages, a lot of movie pages, and a lot of other podcasts. None of them retweet this certain individual. And I don't understand. So I try not to go on Twitter ever because I don't want to see what this person is tweeting. And do you know who John Mulaney is? Who people thought is
incredible comedian.
People have thought he is related to me because we have very similar last names, even though I don't put my last name out on the show. And he's also from Chicago, so multiple people have asked if we're related. Just because we have Irish last names that sound similar. But I'm like, no, we're not related. I mean, yeah, cool. There's other people in Chicago who are Irish. Spoiler
an
alert.
Irish last name in Chicago?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I know. That's like an Irish last name in Boston. I'm like, oh my God, no way. I didn't know there's other Irish people. But yeah, so there's a thing that John Mulaney says that this person is like a horse in a hospital. You don't know what the horse is going to do. You think it's going to be okay in the end, but there's still a horse in the hospital. And there's never been a horse in the hospital, and we're all freaked out. But yeah, this horse in the hospital keeps tweeting, and it comes up on my phone, and it makes me sad. Because I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, today's going to be a great day. I'm like, God damn it. But yeah, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, that's fine. If you do know who I'm talking about, that's fine. But this isn't political. We're just talking about equine creatures in a medical facility. That's what this has been about.
Yes. This particular horse, I hope, gets sent to the glue factory. Listen.
Oh, boy. But isn't that sad that horses get turned into glue?
It is.
Wait,
and that was kind of like, do you remember that? It was, I don't remember how many years ago. It was, a handful of years ago. The show on HBO where, like, there was a big controversy because, like, a bunch of horses, like, were killed in the... It was about, like, horse racing.
Oh, God. Yeah,
and, like,
okay.
a bunch of horses were killed during the filming of it. It was like, oh my God.
That's horrible. Is it horses that are turned into Jell-O? What animal is Jell-O?
What animal is Jell-O?
Someone out there is going to be like, you guys are idiots. It's like horses or sheep or something. It's like hooves get made into gelatin. I was going to say whales, but that's like whale oil, and that's not a thing anymore. I'm 100% sure that's illegal. But yeah, that's crazy. I love Jell-O as well. Are you a mint jelly person? Because I tried mint jelly, and it's disgusting.
Mint jelly?
Yeah, people put mint jelly on like pork. That's like a thing.
What the fuck is that?
What, you've never heard of that?
No. Mint jelly.
Yeah,
like mint flavor? Yeah,
it's like mint. It's like bluish green, and it looks like Listerine that was jellified, and people put it on like pork, and it's like a thing.
That's... Ugh.
Right? Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't sound good.
I know. Wait, what's a food that you don't like? Like an obscure, not obscure food. What's one of those random foods you're like, I just don't like this?
Most vegetables.
No, like, okay, let's put it like this. I hate bananas. I'm not allergic to bananas. Bananas are just one of those things, they smell gross. And whenever they're in food, like in a smoothie, there's fucking bananas in it. And now I don't want it because it tastes like bananas. It's the most overpowering flavor.
See, I used to not like bananas. And I get that argument there. And for me, I think it was more of a texture thing.
They're just mushy.
But now I can eat a banana any day.
Oh, gross. No, you know what food I hate? I hate cilantro.
Okay. Cilantro can ruin a meal or a dish if there's way too much of it.
Okay, so I went to this place recently. I went to a taco place, and I had them not put cilantro on my stuff because I think cilantro tastes like acid. Like actual, it's going to burn my tongue. It's going to kill me. I'm not allergic to cilantro, guys. I just don't like it. So I had them not put cilantro on this stuff, and it was all fine and good. And my meal came without cilantro. And then I ordered salsa that was, I think, 90% cilantro. I think it was just cilantro with a little bit of tomato or like chili powder in it. And I ate it, and I was like, fuck. I was so close to not having my meal ruined. And then I went to go get sushi yesterday, and there was cilantro on my sushi.
Those bastards.
I know. Also, I don't like cilantro. I don't like that. I don't like cottage cheese. It's gross. I don't know what it's about.
I'm shutting this interview down.
Wait, you like cottage
cheese? What the hell is wrong with you?
Dude, cottage cheese? What is it? Is it like milk? What?
It's curdled. Yeah, it's just curdled milk. The most basic way you could explain it is it's pretty much just like bad curdled milk that tastes good.
Dude, okay. I also don't like sour cream. One, because it's a gross name. I don't like sour cream. I don't like cream cheese. I don't like... Cream cheese is good on bagels if it's like the bacon cream cheese you get from Einstein Bros. It's the only kind I like. And
the
then,
schmear.
yeah, there's that stuff, and then they have like, what is it? There's like this like sugar. There's like this brown sugar maple syrup one. It's pretty fire, but that's essentially just sugar, and that's why I like putting it on my food because I'm a dumb American who just puts sugar on everything. But,
I'm all about that mixed berry cream cheese.
oh my god, so good. But the worst thing about cream cheese is you have to eat the whole tub at one time because if you leave it, you get that little film of water, and then you might as well just be eating like rat poison.
Just stir it.
Nah.
I mean, that's probably your same problem with sour cream, isn't it? You get that little bit of a little liquid on top. You just gotta stir that shit.
That liquid, if I see that, same with yogurt. If you buy a tub of yogurt and you have that little film of liquid, there might as well be a cockroach in there. So, I have a story for you on cockroaches. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. It's just going off the rails.
It doesn't
so,
matter.
I went to a bar recently with Emma and one of my buddies, Sean, who's been on the show. Shout out to Sean. I know you listen. And we went to a bar, and I may or may not have been under the influence. And there's a cockroach on the floor, and I tried to pick the cockroach up. I don't remember a lot of this, but I've been told I tried to pick the cockroach up. And I know this doesn't make for good radio, but I'm going to show Ben, because Ben's on FaceTime with me or on Skype. Shout out to Skype. Ben's on Skype with me.
Skype.
Yeah, Skype. Microsoft, sponsor us. Seriously. I will do a lot to get a Microsoft sponsor. So, this is a perfect picture of how I felt that night, if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my eyes are only 60% of the way open. Maybe 55% of the way open. And that's the same night I tried to grab that cockroach. It was a lot of fun. And they had a photo booth. And you know if there's a photo booth, I'm going to do it. Or if there's karaoke. But I haven't been to a karaoke bar, like, ever. I want to do karaoke. I want to do Africa by Toto, and then I want to do Short Skirt, Long Jacket by Cake. Those are my two go-to karaoke songs. One, because I know them by heart.
Man, you think you can hit that high note for Africa?
Yeah, dude. No, I don't think I can.
I was going to say bullshit.
No, I can't. But I can do Cake, because he's just talking.
Oh, yeah. I think Cake is... You could probably get any of their songs.
Oh, yeah. Except... Oh, here's a music fun fact. Do you know, like, the most covered song of all time?
Yesterday by the Beatles?
It's not. I thought it was, too. It's called Quizás, 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 which is translated to English for perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. Cake has a cover of it. It's, like, the most covered song of all time. I know. Super weird, right? Such an obscure thing. But it's been covered, like, 74 times by different bands throughout the years.
I guess I've probably heard it then.
Yeah, I
could not tell you what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm sure you have heard it. That's the thing. Like, there's so many different versions of this song. I'm sure their songs have been covered, like, maybe more. But this was one of those quizzes I had in college I took a music appreciation class, guys, because I strive for really hard classes. As you can tell, I was clearly a biochemistry person. Even though I did have to take biochemistry because I went to college originally for psychiatry. And I'd take science classes, which was a huge mistake. But yeah, I'm going to show Ben this song. Perhaps. Here, it's this song. You're all going to listen.
You won't admit you love me, and so how am I ever to know? You only tell me, perhaps, a million times
Yeah, it's that song.
Yeah,
I know.
I recognize it.
Yeah, it's really weird, right? So, to close out this episode, I have some ideas, or I did if I can unlock my phone. I was going to ask you some would you rather questions, because everyone likes those. And your answers are always very surprising to me because they're always the opposite of what I would pick. Okay, here. Would you rather have to use eye drops that are made out of vinegar or toilet paper made out of sandpaper? And you have to use them.
I think I'd rather use the toilet paper out of sandpaper.
Yeah, probably the same. I'd rather have because you're gonna get calluses. You'll just get butt calluses over a long period of time, and then it's not gonna matter.
I'd rather not burn my eyes out.
Exactly. Oh, this is the thing I used to do for all you fun people out there who want to mess with your friends who are real assholes. If there was ever someone who was way too off the wall at one of our parties, we would give them a shot of apple cider vinegar instead of what they asked for.
That'll calm them down real quick.
Oh, yeah. Or if you ever have a friend who's too drunk, this is a thing that a friend told me to do, and it actually works. I'm not kidding. So if you ever have a friend who's too drunk, offer them some vodka light, which is water. And be like, dude, you should take these shots of vodka light with me, or like diet vodka. And they'd be like, yeah, dude, for sure. And you just keep giving them shots of that because you're going to hydrate them, and they also won't die. So if you ever have a friend who's a little too far, also you can ask a bartender for it. Be like, hey, can I have a shot of water for them? And bartenders will do it. It's also free. But then your friend won't be like, dude, I don't want to have water. It's a good way to trick them into doing that. It does work. So, yeah. Also, the apple cider vinegar thing will help you in a pinch. If someone's like, bro, and they're being like a real piece of shit, give them some apple cider vinegar. It'll pump the brakes on their party. Would you rather be a rodeo clown or the guy riding the bull?
Rodeo clown.
Oh, 100%. I'm not getting near a big-ass bull like that.
Yeah, they have, like, almost 100% less chance of getting, like, their necks broken by being bucked off a bull.
Yeah, like, rodeo clown easily. You know why? Because rodeo clowns never get gored by a bull. That's why it's still a job. That's why, like, see, I feel like being a rodeo clown's also safe because there's, like, 9 of you.
Yeah, there's like a whole handful of you to try and get this bull back into its pen. And like I said, you're not being thrown off a bull and smashing your head onto, dirt ground.
Yeah, 100%. Would you rather always have to take cold showers, but it's not freezing cold, it's just not, like, comfortable? You're just like, oh. Or always get 1 hour less sleep than you need to be fully rested. So you have to wake up, like, an hour early all the time.
Ooh, give me that cold shower. I like my sleep too much.
Oh, yeah. Okay, same. I thought you were going to say sleep, and I'm like, you're a psychopath. I don't know what this one means, and I want to see if you can help decipher this. Would you rather marry a vain person or a person with poor image? Does that mean they have poor public image, like a celebrity, or they have poor self-image?
I'd say poor self-image. So it's basically, it sounds to me like it's someone that thinks they're God's gift to whatever, to the world, or someone that's like the opposite of that has like shit self-esteem.
Oh, okay. Shit self-esteem because you can help them. If you are with like a real asshole, you're just going to be upset, and then you'll be the one with bad self-image.
I don't think I could be with someone that's like, I'm hot shit all the time.
Yeah,
have a little bit of humility.
Yeah. This next one, I don't know if I want to answer this, but I have a funny answer for this. Would you rather make love with the lights on or with the lights off? My answer is American Psycho version with a mirror next to me so I can watch myself.
Flexing. Yeah,
I'm just flexing on myself, just like doing the peck dance. That's my answer to that. I'm actually totally kidding. I'm not going to answer that question on a podcast. But yeah.
Lights on.
Lights on, but I have to have a mirror everywhere so I can look at myself.
Just doing a funhouse mirror.
Ooh. Would you rather have to never have painful cramps again in any way? I think this might be for women. Or never have to shave again?
Shave. Never have to shave again.
Really?
Well, hold on. I guess that'd probably be like if you want to stay clean shaven.
Yeah. You know what? I would maybe pick that if you could pick your facial hair. Like, if you could just grow it at command. Like, you could always have the style you want.
Versus, like, never having any sort of painful cramp again?
Yeah.
Well, give me those cramps, and I'll take the facial hair instantly.
Yeah, I would love to be able to pick my own facial hairstyle by the day. I think that'd be really cool. Would you rather be able to stop time or fly?
Stop time. That could solve so many problems.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think flying is cool. Flying is cool to show off. Like, that's cool to flex on people. But also, for flight, I would assume you can only fly as fast as you can walk or run. So it wouldn't be that useful. Because they don't say super speed.
And I'm assuming with the stoppage of time, well, it could just be stoppage. Like, you can't manipulate it forward or backwards. But still, like, just being able to stop would be such a useful tool to have.
Oh, if I could stop time, I would literally just take naps all the time. I'd never be tired. And then you can also stay up 24 hours a day. In theory. Because you just stop time, you sleep for 8 hours, you restart like nothing's ever happened, and then you can live more of your life.
Now, here's a question. Would your body continue to age at the same rate while everything else is stopped?
In this scenario?
Technically, say you stop time for like 8 hours to get some sleep. Like, would you like age that 8 hours? So kind of you're losing life.
In this
compared
scenario,
to the rest of everybody.
In this scenario, no.
Okay.
In this scenario, like all like genetic aging and like all of that part, all the sciencey part of aging, like your hair doesn't grow. Like, you are also stopped the same as everyone else, but you can just walk through that. So like all the genetic parts of you stop, so you don't have to pee. Like, if you have to pee at that time, you still can, but it's like almost like in a dream. You don't age. Same sort of thing. Like, you are literally suspended at that moment.
Okay.
But I think that'd be really cool. Would you rather have to give up your pet or your computer? Computer.
If I'm just giving it my personal computer, I can go to the library. I can't give up my doggy.
No, I couldn't either. Would you rather be stuck in a submarine underwater for 48 hours or stuck in outer space in like a spaceship?
Both scenarios, I would come back.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
I think I'd rather be in space.
Yeah, me too. Space seems way cooler because that's a cooler story. Stuck underwater, it's probably dark and there's not much. And I'm also completely terrified of underwater. Even though I've gone scuba diving, like underwater stuff can like kill you. There's nothing in outer space that can kill you. I mean, even though I believe in extraterrestrial life, if you're just like orbiting the Earth, nothing's gonna kill you. Like, there's no threat.
Pretty much, yeah. Besides like space debris, which you don't really hear about.
Yeah. Whoa, this is a weird one. This is super weird. It's number 35 on this list. It says, would you rather meet the Red Hot Chili Peppers or Justin Timberlake?
I think we both know the answer to that.
Yup. 100%. I would be like, I just want to know drug stories from Flea. I just want to be like, how much did you spend on cocaine every weekend? I want to know. I want a quantifiable number.
I want to pick Anthony Kiedis' brain to see like where these lyrics come from.
Same. And I want like, I just want to have that'd be the coolest Facebook picture or Instagram picture ever. It's just you with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, you're ultimately the coolest guy in the room then. Except if you're with them. They're the coolest guys in the room.
Would you agree to take a picture with like all of you guys like in like their kind of infamous cocksock like performance outfit?
Yes. In a second. And they can hold me like a guitar. Like, they're playing me. I would 100% do that. I would get that picture tattooed on myself like Steve-O.
Absolutely.
Would you... Okay, here's one. Would you rather have to... Okay, this is like kind of a complicated one. Would you rather have to have... Maybe I asked you this one. Would you rather have to have sex with a goat, but no one knows except you, or not have sex with a goat, but everyone thinks you had sex with a goat? And that's like when people walk... Like, when you walk into a room at a job interview, people are like, are you the guy who had sex with the goat? Like, everyone knows. You're like that guy.
See, if everyone thinks that could like hurt your chances of anything in life, like getting a job or a significant other.
Yeah.
But if nobody knew about it, even though you did do it, it's kind of like it's your own personal shame. However, it's only yours.
Yeah.
So I think I have to go fuck that goat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have sex with that goat. And maybe it's a cool goat. Honestly, who knows? That could be like a cool contact, cool LinkedIn person. Maybe get a job. Would you rather live one life that lasts 1,000 years or 10 different lives that last 100 years?
Do I retain knowledge each time I'm reborn?
I think for this scenario, yeah.
Then I'm doing the 10 100-year lives.
I think I'm gonna do the 1,000-year life. I think that'd be cool. But
But at
what
what
if you,
point
yeah?
do you keep aging, though? Like, would you eventually, like, when you're at 500 years old, you're just like this decrepit, like, old person?
Maybe let's say the scenario you stop aging at like 55. So like you're not older, but you're like a middle-aged person, so people don't question the fact that you're older, but it's not like you're 20 forever. So like people respect you, but you're also able to like go do things.
Okay. I think I would still go with the 10 100-year lives. With the like caveat that as long as it's like, yeah, you retain your knowledge from each life.
Oh, 100%. And then here's another one that I heard on another podcast, but I'm gonna alter it. Would you rather have like no superpowers, like per se, but be able to like regenerate quickly? So like if you had cancer, you could. It's like the Deadpool thing where you regenerate fast enough to not have cancer, but he doesn't really have superpowers. He's just like he's kind of like Wolverine, where he doesn't really have any powers, but he can just regenerate. Or you have like superpowers like Thanos, but every time you have to use the power, you have to scream, "I'm gonna bust."
I'm gonna bust.
Yeah, but like every time you have to use any of your powers, so like say you have like laser vision or like anything, or you're gonna start flying, you have to scream as loud as you can. Like it's just part of your power. I'm gonna bust.
I don't know. Like, I'm down for either of those scenarios. Like, yeah, regenerating.
One of them you're
being,
essentially
like, invincible.
One of them you're essentially Dr. Manhattan, but you have to scream, "I'm gonna bust." And the other one, you technically have a superpower, but not really.
I think I'd go with "I'm gonna bust."
Yeah, me too. Because people are just gonna be like, "Oh, okay, cool." But like that's really awkward for the first time you meet someone. Like, say you just like materialize something. Say you're on a date and you're at like a really fancy restaurant. You're like, "You want to see this?" And then you're like, "I'm gonna bust," and then you get to do your power. But people are gonna look at you.
I think they'll forget about the screaming of "I'm gonna bust" pretty quickly after you do some impressive superpower shit.
Yeah, the way that scenario came up was from another podcast called Lights Camera Podcast, and there's like the new Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie coming out, and one of them is like Spider-Ham, and it's being voiced by John Mulaney, which is incredible. But they were like Spider-Pig, and like a pig would be like, "I'm a bust," like a gross person, and that's where I got that scenario from. But yeah, I think that's an interesting one. It tells me that I'm an egocentric monster, and all I want is powers, and I don't care if I'm gonna bust. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. I don't give a shit. Okay, here's one for you. I want to know what you think about this. This isn't a would you rather. So I was working on this freelance gig for filming a commercial, and the group I was working with are a bunch of really nice people. Super, super cool. But they were telling me this story that they were in like a setting where they were working with other people who were working on different commercials, and one of them said the word soft, like, "Oh, you don't want to be a soft boy." And someone got triggered by that. Do you think the term soft is like a triggerable word? Like that's something that merits someone getting triggered in the way that like they would get offended?
Just by saying like, "Oh, he's soft" or "she's soft"?
Yeah.
I don't
think so.
I don't know of any sort of negative connotation that has with any sort of like offensive, or like any other like offensive term.
Unless you have low T. If you get that joke, thank you. But no, yeah, I honestly don't like. They were telling me that, I'm like, I don't see the offensive part of that. Like, I understand for a lot of things why people would, but the term soft, I don't get that one.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of with soft is just like saying like he's not like, well, it could be, you know, any number of things, like not brave, not strong enough.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing. But it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, I'll be the first to say I'm a lifetime soft boy. I'm soft, guys. If you guys didn't know, the persona that is in your head of me being like a rock hard badass, nope. Not at all. I probably would cry for 6 hours if I stubbed my toe. I was walking in my house, so where my parents live, it's a really old house. It's like 100 some odd years old, and it's really creaky. And between our rooms, we have these weird steps where doors used to be, where they hit into them, and they're still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's an old house, so each room used to have doors.
Yeah.
And we have those little bumps on the ground. I stepped into one, and my big toe, the toenail, went up on my toe. I legitimately had to sit down. I'm like, nope, this isn't happening. And I just sat on the floor for probably 5 minutes. And I was like, nope, I don't care what I was doing. It doesn't matter. And it ruined my day. Like, the rest of the day, I was so, like, fragile putting my socks on because I thought my foot was going to fall off.
Yeah, if your toenail got ripped off, god damn, that has to hurt.
Oh my god, it hurt so bad. I like cut my toenails like 2 days beforehand, and you know, like when you have like long fingernails, they get caught and stuff. This wasn't even gonna get caught, guys. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's my story. I don't know why this happened, where we went. We went down a weird path.
We did. I think that's a good way to wrap it up, though.
Yeah, guys, don't stub your toes. Ben is on the show again. Ben is like the new guy. Ben's the guy now. I think I'm going to redesign the See What Sticks logo, so that may be happening. And I think I'm going to make a website. I said that like 6 months ago. I just hadn't got around to it because I was doing job stuff. But I think I'm going to. Ben, do you have like a headshot? Because I know Emma does. Because I'm going to put like headshots of all the people who are like hosts on the show on the website or on the page of the website for See What Sticks. Do you have like
I can get one made. Or I could have one ready for you.
I don't know if it would be like funny or not funny or like a good headshot. I'm sure you have one from when you were in the Air Force. I don't know if that would be cool because everyone else is like a modeling headshot and yours is your Air Force picture.
I have like an official Air Force photo from like from a week when we got our pictures taken in like basic training, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Do you have hair?
About as long as I do right now.
Oh, okay. For those of you who don't know, Ben's head is shaved like Jason Statham.
Just not nearly as sexy.
Ben, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Don't tell yourself that.
Yeah, well, there's probably a lot of beholders out there that probably would think that Jason Statham is much more sexy than I am.
80% of it is the voice. It's that rugged man voice.
He's got that British accent, too. I can't compete with that.
Yeah, he's like... I can't even do it, but I can do impressions.
He's like, "Oh, I'm Jason Statham."
Yeah, oh, that's pretty good. You know, I can do impressions, though, guys. That's a thing. Maybe next time I'll do an impression or the whole thing in Christopher Walken voice. Actually, I don't think I could hold that up. I would just start laughing. Or Louis Armstrong. I was working on that one at the gym with one of my buddies, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. That means if you can do Louis Armstrong, I think you can do Kermit, right?
Maybe.
I don't think I can do Kermit. I've never tried Kermit.
I don't think Kermit would be that hard.
Wait, is this Kermit or Miss Piggy? It's like Kermit. Is that Miss Piggy?
That's Miss Piggy.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I can do impressions, guys. That's gonna have to come up on the show at some point. But yeah, that was an episode of Ben and Russell talking about music and then getting totally distracted. But yeah, it was good. Ben, I think next time, the next episode, we should do another Q&A episode where we just ask each other obscure questions.
Do it.
Okay.
And let's make them complete like pop quiz questions. We don't even run them by each other.
Nope. Yeah, we're just gonna come up with questions completely independent of each other, and we're just gonna ask them. So that was another episode of See What Sticks. Guys, if you want to get in contact with the show, you know how to do it. It's always in the description. We have a Gmail. There's a Facebook page for it if you still use Facebook. There's a Twitter, which I hate using, but you can always contact me on there. I will respond to you. There's an Instagram page, which is just my Instagram, if you ever want to look at pictures of me. And then there's also the Spreaker page, which you can use that. And Ben is completely anonymous. There's no way to get in contact with Ben. People aren't even sure if Ben's a real guy. He's just some dude I found. So, Ben.
I'm an AI. I'm just an AI application.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, well, thank you again, Ben, for another episode. Thank you for listening to See What Sticks. This is episode like 42 or 43 or something. So yeah, well, thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to Ben. And that was another episode.
Thanks, bye.